Today, on the debut episode of the Sports Zone Unscripted, Newton out, Jones is in. News from New England Patriots shakes the football world as well as the sports world. News from Tuesday shows how preseason was actually Newton's final shot at QB1 for the Patriots. My reaction and more news coming from that coming up as well. NFL preseason recap. The final week of the NFL preseason is completed, and the countdown to Cowboys at Tampa Bay is on. My reaction and the recap of Week 3. Also, we get an update on the destruction by Hurricane Ida and how it affects the Saints going into the 2021 NFL regular season. And of course, so far, who can forget these guys? The now infamous Bishop Sycamore football team is now under more scrutiny after their game on national television with a team of mediocre adult players and criminally negligent coaches for a prep school that doesn't even exist. My reaction to, well, that con job coming up. And of course, Feel Good Friday. After another week in the COVID-19 pandemic, we could all use some good news. We find out that silver can be worth its weight in gold. And there is a live look. Oh, okay. There is a live look at Gillette Stadium, the home of the New England Patriots, and also the home of controversy, as we will soon get into the breaking news of that controversy. As we get ready to say, welcome to the Sports Zone. I'm David Henshaw. We have an exciting show for today, but for right now, let's go ahead and get into what I like to call the opening statement. And the main opening statement is, why am I doing this? Why, oh why, oh why? Well, the main reason is that I have not done anything Sports Zone related in a long time. For those that know me from high school, knew that I not only hosted the Sports Zone at Kickotan, but I also created the Sports Zone there. And now I am trying to do a podcast with that name. But one big difference with that, when I was in high school, when I was doing the Sports Zone there, and as well as being sports editor for the newspaper there, it mainly was censorship all over the place. I wasn't able to say my actual opinion on things. And those that know me from school know that when I don't get to say my opinion, I find another way to say it without getting in trouble. Well, this is the way to do it. Now, of course, I am taking a personal note right here, as I am taking a semester from my normal college and staying here at my house in this undisclosed undisclosed podcasting studio. At least I'd like to call it that. I mainly want to give my honest opinion on things in the sports world, no matter how controversial they are. Because that's how I plan on standing out as a sports journalist, is by ruffling a few feathers and making people talk about the uncomfortable and better left forgotten conversations. And sometimes conversations that are not better left forgotten, but better left being talked about, being understood, and being aware of. Let's go ahead and get into breaking news, of course. And the main breaking news, as the 2021 NFL preseason ends, there is now news before the first kickoff of Cowboys at Tampa Bay. Cam Newton is now out as QB1 for the New England Patriots. The Boston Globe would first report it, and then it was confirmed by ESPN's Adam Schefter. Mac Jones, number 15 overall from this year's draft, will take over the QB1 spot from the former NFL MVP. In a stunning move, the Patriots did something that they have never done. They have released a veteran for a rookie to start in that position. Preseason is normally a time for rookies to prove themselves worthy of staying on the 53-man roster heading into the season. But it turns out that Mac Jones proved that the Patriots can skip the rebuild season and go back to work. Coach Bill Belichick saying Tuesday morning, certainly Cam started at a much higher point than he did last year, so definitely moving in the right direction. That was 90 minutes before the Globe reported that Newton was being released. Belichick today, once again at the podium, saying that the vaccine status of the former QB1 didn't play a role in his release. Former Patriots giving mixed reaction. Julian Edelman, who endorsed, in air quotes, that endorsed Jones, saying that it didn't surprise him, while Asante Samuel saying he's just another coach, referring to Belichick. Samuel has had a tense history with Belichick, from saying that playing for the Patriots made me think about not playing football for the first time in my life. Also saying they treat players like crap. Either way, it looks like, despite the respect from current and former Patriots, Mac Jones is stepping into a very controversial QB1 spot in Foxborough. And, of course, hours after being released by the Patriots, Cam Newton penned a positive response on his Instagram saying, "I really appreciate all the love and support during this time. But I must say, please don't feel sorry for me." Newton posted via story in his trademark social media font before adding hashtag I'm good. Now, of course, we are getting ready to go into the recap for the preseason. Now, of course, let's get into the recap of the final week of the NFL preseason. And, of course, let's take a look at the final scores of week 3. Okay, we'll try to get that image pulled up in a second. Oh, here we go. All right, so the first one, of course, taking a look at it. Colts at Lions. Colts defeated the Lions at Ford Field 27-17, while the Eagles tied against the Jets. That ended up in a tie at 31 each. Steelers, Panthers. Panthers would edge Mason Rudolph and the Steelers 34-9. While the Vikings proving something for the Chiefs preseason squad. However, the Chiefs proved to be better, beating the Vikings 28-25. Bills shut out Jordan Love and the Packers 19-0. And while for those in the Washington area, okay, we have a little bit of technical difficulty. Hang on a second. Okay, I believe we have resolved that situation. Anyway, going back to that, if I can move the cursor up. For those that are in the Washington area, bad news because the Ravens beat the football team 37-3. Bears would take out the Titans 27-24. And while the Buccaneers have lost 2 straight in the preseason, they edged the Texans 23-16. Rams and the Broncos would take out the Rams 17-12 at Mile High. And of course, Seahawks Chargers. Chargers not proving a threat for the leftovers of the Legion of Boom as the Seahawks edged the Chargers 27-0. And for the team that is going to be trying to take on the Buccaneers week 1, the Cowboys lost to the Jaguars by 20. Jaguars beating them 34-14. Bengals Dolphins. Dolphins would take out the Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium by 3. Heading over to sunny Santa Clara, the Niners defended their home turf against the Las Vegas Raiders, 49ers beating them 34-10. And of course, who can forget this rivalry that has done 2 Super Bowls? Giants versus Patriots. Patriots led strong for a while. The Giants caught up to them in the final seconds as the Patriots got that final touchdown in by a pick 6. 22-20, that final score. And while we thought this game was going to be a little bit challenging for the Atlanta Falcons, they proved strong in the first half. But the Browns beat them 19-10. We'll see if that can carry the Browns' momentum all the way into week 1. Oh, okay. As soon as I'm able to transition there, we are also taking a look at the destruction that Hurricane Ida made in New Orleans. You can change that over. Because we have breaking news while we are tracking Ida, which is now a tropical depression near New England. Saints have changed their location of their home opener to the home of the Jaguars, TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. This is definitely affecting the Saints into the regular season as Ida bringing back memories of Katrina tearing roofs off of hospitals in the city. Saints coach Sean Payton saying there's no returning for the home opener at the newly named Caesars Superdome. The Saints will take on the Packers at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville for week 1. Of course, relief efforts are already coming through as Falcons owner Arthur Blank donates $2 million to relief efforts and the NFL Foundation donating $1 million to relief efforts as well. The Dallas Cowboys are getting set to take on the defending Super Bowl champions Tampa Bay Buccaneers on September 9th on NBC. Coverage starting with Football Night in America starting at 7 p.m. We're going to go ahead and take a break, but don't worry, we will be right back with more from the Sports Zone. Don't go anywhere because coming up, we talk about Bishop Sycamore and what their zany bunch is doing now. We'll be right back. Once again, another beautiful look at Foxborough, Mass, and at One Patriot Place, the home of the New England Patriots. Of course, this great and marvelous music was done by Shane Ivers via Silverman Sounds. That's how I was able to download it. Of course, you will be able to download any music royalty-free as long as you give credit using Silverman Sounds. Now, of course, let's go ahead and get into, well, this zany bunch, Bishop Sycamore, reality or fantasy. The now infamous Bishop Sycamore football team, once again under more scrutiny, as I said in the intro, after their game on national television full of adult players and criminally negligent coaches for a prep school that uses the word of God in order to push their own greed that doesn't actually exist. The team gained nationwide attention during the high school football game live from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio, against top 300 IMG Academy from Florida as part of ESPN's Geico High School Kickoff Classic, in which the prep school football team would be shut out in a humiliating 58-0 once again on national television. This was Bishop Sycamore's second game in 2 days. The first was on Friday, playing against Stowe Rocks High School, which they lost 19-7. According to awful announcing, both Paragon, the company that marketed the IMG game, as well as ESPN, releasing statements on the incident. Paragon President Rashid Ghazi saying that they would have canceled the game had they known that the same kids played earlier in the weekend, and they had held out hope that Bishop Sycamore perhaps fielded two teams with a split squad approach to the two contests. And ESPN saying, "We regret that this happened and have discussed it with Paragon, which secured the matchup and handles the majority of our high school event scheduling. They have assured us that they will take steps to prevent this kind of situation from happening moving forward." People noticed that all of the players were wearing the same number jerseys sometimes, and in both games were wearing their, we're calling home uniforms, with no away white uniforms with them as traditional high school football teams would go. They even published a GoFundMe fundraiser with a target of $200,000 for equipment. The total earned, you may be asking, $140. And I bet people are also asking, wait, isn't the association they're a part of supposed to provide the equipment? Well, small problem with that. Despite them being based in Ohio, the prep school is not a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, instead the Texas Christian Athletic Association. So why was it on national television? ESPN claims they sounded the alarm to Paragon weeks in advance when they couldn't learn anything about Bishop Sycamore's roster, depth chart, or even just any general information about the school. Bishop Sycamore allegedly failed on a conference call with ESPN days before the game. Before providing a fact sheet of information on Sunday's game, where they are claiming multiple players had major D1 offers from Power 5 programs. ESPN was not able to verify any of this information and felt they were scammed. That feeling permeated the broadcast, including this viral exchange saw Anish Sharaf, the play-by-play announcer for ESPN during that game, acknowledging this scandal before it was even a scandal. It came after a long weather delay, with the game already out of hand, and the now former Bishop Sycamore coach Roy Johnson refusing to allow for a running clock while running on the land with an active arrest warrant. like I said, this is probably going to be 30 for 30 coming up either late this year or early next year. I don't know which. A reporter at the game shared the following with awful announcing. The roster was very small, though. 30 to 35 players would be my guesstimate. And they had a bunch of injuries over the course of the game, which makes sense if they were playing for the second time in 3 days. The coaches that are being indicted with fraud once had a prep school called the Christians of Faith Academy, which ultimately died after going 1-11, according to Max Preps. And no one really heard of it other than people with the local news coverage. But here's the difference between the Christians of Faith Academy and Bishop Sycamore. Bishop Sycamore is being covered by ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC Sports, CBS Sports, CNN. I can go further. And while, of course, we are going into our first opinion alert piece right here, well, I try to mend the line between being a reporter and being a commentator. This one proved difficult as it is my faith being personally tested right here, as they were using the Word of God to enhance their own wealth, like televangelists do, like the really shady kind. And this once again proves that the organized religious part of Christianity is severing itself from the original message. That is, of course, my opinion. I use the opinion alert piece right here, and I will on future stories to separate fact from opinion. Now, of course, let's go ahead and go into a lighter note to finish off the episode. Feel Good Friday. As we get ready to find out that silver is most definitely worth its weight in gold. Javelin thrower Maria Andrejczyk has auctioned off her Tokyo Games silver medal for $125,000 to help an infant in her native Poland get life-saving heart surgery. On Wednesday, Andrejczyk posted on her Facebook page that she came across the fundraiser for eight-month-old, Milosek Malsia, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the name, who had a serious heart defect and needed surgery. She decided to auction off her lone Olympic medal to help raise money for his surgery, saying he's already had a head start from Kubris, a boy who didn't make it in time, but whose amazing parents decided to pass on the funds they collected. She, of course, wrote in Polish on her Facebook page. And in this way, I also want to help. It's for him that I am auctioning my Olympic silver medal. On Monday, she confirmed on Instagram that Zapka, a Polish supermarket chain, won the auction with a bid of $125,000. The money raised will allow the boy to get the necessary surgery at Stanford University Medical Center. In a surprising twist of events, Zapka decided to give the medal back to Andrejczyk, who missed an Olympic medal at the 2016 Rio Games by 2 centimeters, suffered from a shoulder injury, in 2017, and was diagnosed with bone cancer in 2018. She went through recovery to make a comeback and win her first Olympic medal in Tokyo earlier this month. We, of course, will try to keep everyone updated on how
how Milasek and his family is doing during this challenging time, and if everything went well for him. We are definitely praying for it to be a success as well. All right, that is going to go ahead and do it for us here at the Sports Zone. Of course, you can follow me on my Instagram at at Davy Joe Henshaw 024 and on my Twitter at David Henshaw 024. If you have not done so on YouTube, go ahead and press the like button, say in the comments your opinion, and press the subscribe button. Also click the bell icon for more updates. And of course, on SoundCloud, all you really need to do is just press the like button. And if you want, say into the comments on your opinion on anything in the sports world. The audio only version is available on SoundCloud. The link to it is on the description of the video and in the bio on my channel. I also have a website, davidhenshaw.weebly.com. Go there to view my past stories and Sports Zone episodes. Until next time, I'm David Henshaw, and I'll see you next time on the Sports Zone.